not an interrogation of your version of the truth is all that matters.
Truth is singular. Its versions mistruth.
Hello! Another spontaneous middle of the night live stream just to see who's up this late and who's getting notifications. So, welcome. Let me get over to where I can see the chat and see if there's anybody here with us. It looks like 3. Hello, Grace. How are you? Can you hear me okay? Everything good? Let me know so I can make adjustments. We're going to listen to the second part of part 16 of the I Am Raw Law of One series, because they're just a wealth of wisdom. Now, these were actually, they were messages that were put out in 1981. But they're so relevant today with what we've got going on within each of us. And also, you know, we're going to talk about what the harvest really is. So it's not what everybody thinks that it is, and like the wake up process. And more than likely, take phone calls, because you know how I like to do those spontaneous things. So enjoy this clip on the Law of One, and I'll be back with you. We're going to discuss it, take calls, wherever we flow to. And this also gives time for people to, because sometimes it could take up to 15 minutes before somebody even gets a notification. So depending, I guess, on how active you are on my channel, or I'm not sure. But I'm trying to show a lot of activity with live streaming, and I put out a short announcement about another platform that I will be utilizing. I think I did put that link in the description box here too, and it's much easier to register and sign on over there than it is for YouTube, believe it or not. Okay, so let me share this clip. John Binney, hey! If I end up having to take a TT break, I've got your music standing by. Yes, I do. I love your music so much. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Amazing. Okay, so here's this clip, and we're going to talk about it right after. Let me pull it up for you.
Question 16.29. Questioner, I would like to make an analogy as to why there are fewer negatively oriented, and then ask you if the analogy is good. In a positively oriented society with service to others, it would be simple to move a large boulder by getting everyone to help move it. In a society oriented towards service to self, it would be much more difficult to get everyone to work for the good of all to move the boulder. Therefore, it is much easier to get things done to create the service to others principle and to grow in positively oriented communities than in negatively oriented communities. Is this correct? Answer, I am Ra. This is correct. Question 16.30. Questioner, thank you very much. Can you tell me how the Confederation of Planets was formed and why? Answer, I am Ra. The desire to serve begins, in the dimension of love or understanding, to be an overwhelming goal of the social memory complex. Thus, those percentiles of planetary entities, plus approximately 4% more of whose identity we cannot speak, found themselves long ago in your time seeking the same thing, service to others. The relationship between these entities as they entered an understanding of other beings, other planetary entities, and other concepts of service was to share and continue together these commonly held goals of service. Thus, each voluntarily placed the social memory complex data in what you may consider a central thought complex available to all. This then created a structure whereby each entity could work in its own service while calling upon any other understanding needed to enhance the service. This is the cause of the formation and the manner of the working of the Confederation. Question 16.31. Questioner: with such a large number of planets in this galaxy, you say that there are approximately 500 planets in the Confederation. There seems to be a relatively small number of Confederation planets around. Is there a reason for it? Answer: I am Ra. There are many confederations. This confederation works with the planetary spheres of 7 of your galaxies, if you will, and is responsible for the callings of the densities of these galaxies. Question 16.32. Questioner: would you define the word galaxy as you just used it? Answer: I am Ra. We use that term in this sense as you would use star systems. Question 16.33. Questioner: I'm a little bit confused as to how many total planets the Confederation that you are in serves. Answer: I am Ra. I see the confusion. We have difficulty with your language. The galaxy term must be split. We call galaxy the vibrational complex that is local. Thus, your sun is what we would call the center of a galaxy. We see you have another meaning for this term. Question 16.34. Questioner: yes. In our science, the term galaxy refers to the lenticular star system that contains millions and millions of stars. There was a confusion about this in one of our earlier communications, and I'm glad to get it cleared up. Using the term galaxy in the sense that I just stated, using the lenticular star system that contains millions of stars, do you know of evolution in other galaxies besides this one? Answer: I am Ra. We are aware of life in infinite capacity. You are correct in this assumption. Question 16.35. Questioner: can you tell me if the progression of life in other galaxies is similar to the progression of life in our galaxy? Answer: I am Ra. The progression is somewhat close to the same, asymptotically approaching congruency throughout infinity. The free choosing of what you would call a galactic system causes variations of an extremely minor nature from one of your galaxies to another. Question 16.36. Questioner: then the law of one is truly universal in creating a progression towards the 8th density in all galaxies. Is this correct? Answer: I am Ra. This is correct. There are infinite forms, infinite understandings, but the progression is one. Question 16.37. Questioner: I am assuming that it is not necessary for an individual to understand the law of one to go from the 3rd to the 4th density. Is this correct? Answer: I am Ra. It is absolutely necessary that an entity consciously realize it does not understand it in order for it to be harvestable. Understanding is not of this density. Question 16.38. Questioner: that is a very important point. I used the wrong word. What I meant to say was that I believed that it was not necessary for an entity to be consciously aware of the law of one to go from the 3rd to the 4th density. Answer: I am Ra. This is correct. Question 16.39. Questioner: at what point in the densities is it necessary for an entity to be consciously aware of the law of one in order to progress? Answer: I am Ra. The 5th density harvest is of those whose vibratory distortions consciously accept the honor duty of the law of one. This responsibility honor is the foundation of this vibration. Question 16.40. Questioner: can you tell me a little more about this honor responsibility concept? Answer: I am Ra. Each responsibility is an honor, each honor a responsibility. Question 16.41. Questioner: can you tell me of the silver flecks that we have found sometimes on our faces or elsewhere? Answer: I am Ra. These of which you speak are a materialization of a subjectively oriented signpost indicating to one mind, body, spirit complex, and no other, a meaning of subjective nature. Question 16.42. Questioner, who creates these silver flecks? Answer, I am Ra. Picture, if you will, the increasing potential for learned teaching. At some point a sign will be given indicating the appropriateness or importance of the learned teaching. The entity itself, in cooperation with the inner planes, creates whatever signpost is most understandable or noticeable to it. Question 16.43. Questioner, I understand that we ourselves create this. Answer, I am Ra. Entities consciously do not create these. The roots of mind complex, having touched in understanding, intelligent infinity, create them. Question 16.44. Questioner, thank you. Is it possible for you to give a short description of the conditions in the fourth density? Answer, I am Ra. We ask you to consider as we speak that there are not words for positively describing fourth density. We can only explain what is not and approximate what is. Beyond fourth density our ability grows more limited until we become without words. That which fourth density is not, it is not of words unless chosen. It is not of heavy chemical vehicles for body complex activities. It is not of disharmony within self. It is not of disharmony within peoples. It is not within limits of possibility to cause disharmony in any way. Approximations of positive statements. It is a plane of type of bipedal vehicle which is much denser and more full of life. It is a plane wherein one is aware of the thought of other selves. It is a plane wherein one is aware of vibrations of other selves. It is a plane of compassion and understanding of the sorrows of third density. It is a plane striving towards wisdom or light. It is a plane wherein individual differences are pronounced although automatically harmonized by group consensus. Question 16.45. Questioner, could you define the word density as we have been using it? Answer, I am Ra. The term density is a, what you call, mathematical one. The closest analogy is that of music, whereby after 7 notes on your Western type of scale, if you will, the 8th note begins a new octave. Within your great octave of existence which we share with you, there are 7 octaves or densities. Within each density there are 7 sub-densities. Within each sub-density are 7 sub-sub-densities. Within each sub-sub-density, 7 sub-sub-sub-densities, and so on infinitely. Question 16.46. Questioner, I noticed that the time of this session has gone slightly over an hour. I would like to ask at this time if we should go on. What is the condition of the instrument? Answer, I am Ra. This instrument is in balance. It is well to continue if you desire. Question 16.47. Questioner, I understand that each density has 7 sub-densities which again have 7 sub-densities and so on. This is expanding at a really large rate as each is increased by powers of 7. Does this mean that in any density level anything that you can think of is happening? Answer, I am Ra. From your confusion we select the concept with which you struggle, that being infinity opportunity. You may consider any possibility probability complex as having an existence. Question 16.48. Questioner, do things like daydreams become real in other densities? Answer, I am Ra. This depends upon the nature of the daydream. This is a large subject. Perhaps the simplest thing we can say is if the daydream, as you call it, is one which attracts to self, this then becomes reality to self. If it is a contemplative general daydream, this may enter the infinity of possibility probability complexes and occur elsewhere, having no particular attachment to the energy fields of the Creator. Question 16.49. Questioner, to make this a little more clear, if I were to daydream strongly about building a ship, would this occur in one of these other densities? Answer, I am Ra. This would have or shall occur. Question 16.50. Questioner, then if an entity daydreams strongly about battling an entity, would this occur? Answer, I am Ra. In this case the entity's fantasy concerns the self and other self, this binding the thought form to the possibility probability complex connected with the self which is the creator of this thought form. This then would increase the probability of bringing this into third density occurrence. Question 16.51. Questioner, does the Orion group use this principle to create conditions favorable to suit their purpose? Answer, I am Ra. We will answer more specifically than the question. The Orion group uses daydreams of hostile or other negative natures to feed back or strengthen these thought forms. Question 16.52. Questioner, are the many wanderers who have and are coming to our planet subject to the Orion thoughts? Answer, I am Ra. As we have said before, wanderer has become completely the creature of third density in mind-body complex. There is just as much chance of such influence to a wanderer entity as to a mind-body spirit complex of this planetary sphere. The only difference occurs in the spirit complex which, if it wishes, has an armor of light, if you will, which enables it to recognize more clearly that which is not as it would appropriately be desired by the mind-body spirit complex. This is not more than bias and cannot be called an understanding. Furthermore, the wanderer is in its own mind, body, spirit, less distorted toward the, shall we say, deviousness of third density positive-negative confusions. Thus, it often does not recognize as easily as a more negative individual the negative nature of thoughts or beings. Question 16.53. Questioner, then would the wanderers, as they incarnate here, be high-priority targets of the Orion group? Answer, I am Ra. This is correct. Question 16.54. Questioner, if a wanderer should be successfully infringed upon, shall I say, by the Orion group, what would happen to this wanderer when harvest came? Answer, I am Ra. If the wanderer entity demonstrated through action a negative orientation towards other selves, it would be, as we have said before, caught into the planetary vibration and, when harvested, possibly repeat again the master cycle of third density as a planetary entity. This shall be the last full question of this session. Is there a short question we may answer before we close this session? Question 16.55. Questioner, can the instrument be made more comfortable? Answer, I am Ra. This instrument is as comfortable as it is possible for you to make it given the weakness distortions of its body complex. You are conscientious. I am Ra. I leave you in the love and the light of the one infinite Creator. Go forth, then, rejoicing in the power and the peace. Adonai.
Okay. That was a treasure trove of wisdom, knowledge that was given to us in 1981. Down in the description box is a link to that part. That's part 16 or section 16, part 2. And there's 106 parts to this series, and some are broke down to one part, and some are broke down to more than one part. So it is very interesting. And take, for example, take the word wanderer and put the word volunteer in there. Those who have volunteered to come in. And look at the word harvest. Now, the word harvest is as we leave from this realm. And it talks about the Orion and the deceptions and the daydreams and the sevens, which are also in scripture. There's a lot of depth to this, and the understanding and understanding that we're coming to now about who we are, forgiveness, unconditional love, all these beautiful things, service to others. Just like he was talking about pushing that boulder, it's much easier for us to come together and push it together than it is for us to try and push that boulder by ourselves. And we come to this understanding and understanding that we're all in this together as a oneness, but also individual sovereign beings. And some of the wanderers, or those that are on the journey, the volunteers, get stuck and then have to come back and do it again because of the influences, their purity. They come in just like everybody else. You don't remember anything before this lifetime. So they come in exactly like that, but they're more of a pure glow. But with the influences, and that's all they're able to do is influence us to make the wrong choices, to divide us, to call each other names or put other people above other people in hierarchies and all of this kind of stuff. Which Paul was bringing up so beautifully. Yes, it would be wonderful if we would all come together. But if somebody's going to come in and call, people that are Mandela affected shape-shifting reptilians, or which is actually another way of describing the Orion group that came in and, gave the 10 Commandments to Moses. Moses, in the other part that I shared the other day, was brought up in that, in the Law of One, I Am Raw series, and he was a pure vessel, and they gave him the 10 Commandments, and then when he came down, the people, the influences, and that was their whole intention, was to defile him, and it worked. And we're coming out of that, and we're remembering who and what we are, and the equality and the beauty that we all hold. And then as he was describing the 7 densities, and then within that 7th density, there's 7 more, there's 7 more, there's 7 more, and it goes on through infinity. Okay, it's a growing process. But, I know there's a lot of people that don't believe in reincarnation, or because of our belief structures that we've been under for so long, myself included, that it takes a little while or a long while to get the old information out that no longer serves and get to the truth. I think about what was Christ teaching. He graduated. He moved on. He's not here anymore, but he has sent a helper to help us get through. We just have to learn to hear that helper and to follow and be heart-centered and get our mind and heart, in coherence. And how he was talking about manifesting in another realm of another possibility of you when you're daydreaming. If it's something dark, that you could actually manifest that in another realm for another fractal of yourself. Now, the harvesting that they're talking about, I think I probably just said this, but I'll say it again because it is important. It's not going to be one fell swoop and then harvest it out of here. It is, we will leave when it is our time, and whether we have got to that understanding and understanding is completely up to us. It's completely our choice. It's within us. It's in our, that is the only one we can control is ourselves. And that's where we need to keep our house, our temple clean, and then reflect out that unconditional love and forgiveness to everybody else. So what'd you guys think of that? It's a wealth of information. I'm going through it and sharing parts of it with you guys because it's important, and it's also, it just blows my mind that it was 1981. 1984 is when I got hit by that car, which I almost left, but then, and I was actually told I didn't have to return here, but I came back because of what I was seeing. I was shown something, and I couldn't do it to that person. It would have really hindered that person from achieving their sovereignty and moving on. So, when you do things like that, for others, when you think about other people, and you just want them to treat you how you're treating them, and that is in love and pure love. So, a lot of people volunteered. Well, they're people now. A lot of beings, spiritual beings, volunteered to come in, but they can get stuck from the influences that are, all around us. And when he was talking about all the different planetary, which is, it's a simpler way for us to wrap our mind around it, but they're more like realms, more like densities that we can achieve, and it's an infinite process. And I think Earth School's probably, and I call it Earth School, but I think it's one of the hardest ones because there are those that are completely into service for self, and they'll step on you. They'll step right on your head to get what they want. And when you're a heart-centered being, you don't understand that. You're like, what? Because you can't imagine yourself doing that to somebody else. And that's what hurts us the most. And also, we end up being the ones that get the most attacks on us. And that was pretty clear in this one also, because you're on your way out. And so they're going to come after you and throw everything at you that they possibly can to hamper your growth, your understanding, and the law of one, the oneness that we all are, and that we are one in God. God created us, and that we are all part of God. We're just different expressions with sovereignty, and it's beautiful. It's absolutely a beautiful and profound understanding. And what would be more freeing and liberating than for Christ to be teaching people that? And that's why he shooed away all those people when he fed them all. Are you here just because I fed you? Or are you here because you want to learn this truth? And many of them walked away. They walked away. So, that goes to show you. But he wasn't talking to the religious type or any. He would talk to anybody that would listen and comprehend and understand. And, healings happened right there on the spot. As they heard his words, they understood it, and they were walking because their body, their vessel was cleared out of all the clutter. So, things that to think about, I'm not going to trample on anybody's belief. I'm not going to trample on your sovereignty. And I don't want people coming into the chat, trampling on if we don't believe that they do the way they do or the way that they're telling us to call us all shape-shifting reptilians, and then call in. And if they had been listening to the show, there was a guest on also that could not hear the telephone call, so I would have to relay. Otherwise, he's just sitting there in dead silence, only hearing me, not hearing the other side of the conversation, so I would have to relay some. And she was very unkind. So, and that's not treating others as you want to be treated. And, I just ask that. Just treat others as you want to be treated, and show love and respect for one another, because this is an open platform for everybody and anybody, unless you cross the line and you start to lash out or hurt people. That's not going to be tolerated. I don't like that. I mean, I don't even want to see it or be a part of it. But I did go back and watch that whole stream over, trying to see where it popped up in the chat. But my moderators took care of it. So, and I trust my moderators that I have. They know that it is a timeout, and yet usually leave it up to me to do a banning. But when it's something so vicious as what was going on, then you do have the right and you do have the authority as a moderator to ban people and kick people. And then I can go and view the list. All you need to do is shoot me an email, let me know what the heck happened. And then I actually talked to somebody else that was in the stream that seen the conversation, because I was unable to. And they said it was pretty bad. So I know the woman has problems. I also know that she's Mandela affected. So is she putting herself into that category? I don't know. So Paul, please forgive me for, I'm not trying to shut you down. I completely understand with what you're going after. Your heart's totally in the right place. That's what we want for everybody. Everybody. But that doesn't mean they have the right to trample on our sovereignty and our God-given ability and right and our freedom. So, I think I'll turn the phones on and see if anybody wants to call in. Be very nice when you call, and then we won't have any problems. You will probably hear the Uber thingy ring. Okay. While it's doing that, I'll pull up the phone number.
This free conference call is provided by Uber Conference.
There you go.
You are the first participant on this Uber conference. Please hold while we wait for the others to join.
So the number is up. I like these late night streams. I like to see who's up and around, and we seem to be picking up more. You guys are getting more used to it, or maybe you're getting the notifications. I don't know. It's good though. I like it. Of course, always. We, no matter what anybody does, Paul, we still love them unconditionally. It's just you got to make up the choice. Are you in service to others or service to self? She was being very self-serving and was hurting other people. So that's that. We don't have to be doormats, but we still love each other. Oh my gosh, and it's a long forgiven. I've forgiven her. But I think she needs a little bit of cool down period. And so, I won't leave people blocked for long. Should I call? I have a Wi-Fi number. You can call in from a Wi-Fi number. I think it'll let you. I also wanted to give you guys a heads up while we're waiting for a caller. I got a weird phone call today from somebody saying that they were from the Social Security office and that, somebody's using the number, blah, 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 blah. Please hold while they connect me to, and I went click. So be more, alert on these scam calls that they're fishing for your information. And what breaks my heart is a lot of elderly people that are like living on Social Security may panic over something like that and take the call and give their information because they're trusting and they don't understand. It's really heartbreaking, but be on alert for that. Talk to your parents, or your grandparents, and make sure that they understand that there is scammers making those calls now, because I know I got one today. So anybody gonna call? Come on. Giggles, are you gonna call? Wonder if she remembers that I used to call her Giggles all the time. Yeah, it does. It is heartbreaking, and they will take, I don't know what kind of person could do that to people, but, it's just better to warn people that these kind of things are going on. So that way they're alerted to it and know how to protect themselves. So what else? Do you guys have any questions about that law of one, that I am Ra? I think Ra is an Egyptian, which they ended up worshiping him like a god, but he is always saying that he's a fellow servant. Do not worship me. Do not bow down to me. He's just dropping wisdom. He's not wanting worship. Okay, 406. How are you doing?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Polly.
Hi, Paul. Let's see if everybody in the chat, can you guys hear Paul? You should be able to. If you heard my phone ringing, did you hear my phone ringing when you were in the stream?
Yeah, I know what to do.
So it's on. Okay.
Yeah.
My sound is on where they can hear you. So how are you tonight?
What are we going to talk about?
What would you like to talk about?
There's so much to talk about. That's the problem.
Well, you called. Well, did you get to watch the full clip or part of the clip or part of that share? What are your thoughts on it?
It sounded like avant-garde. Avant-garde. That's a bit.
I'm not familiar. I'll have to look them up. You'll need to shoot me a link or something so I can check it out.
It's the opposite way of thinking that everyone else thinks, but it's supposed to think like that. That's the way you're supposed to think.
Uh-huh.
But they've hidden
I see.
that knowledge kind of thing.
Right.
It's the whole Andy Warhol tomato soup can thing. Let me turn this on.
Okay.
Yeah, avant-garde. You know. But I listened to it, yeah, I've heard it a few different ways before. So
We have another caller in here with us, but I went ahead and muted you, so when Paul's finished, I will come to you, okay? And you can hear what's going on right here, so you're not missing anything. Okay, continue, Paul. The soup can thing, the Andy Warhol,
Yeah,
the opposite thinking, and it is like that. It is like everything that we thought we knew. It's like, I've said that many times. It's like opposite. When I woke up, everything went like, it seemed inverted and backwards.
Uh-huh. Can you hear me still?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know. Should I turn my volume down on my phone? On the chat?
I can hear you perfectly. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'll do anything. Yep.
Okay. Did you have anything to add to the Andy Warhol topic?
Oh, it's major delay. Hold on. Hold on a minute. There. I was behind on the chat. I was behind on everything. It's like Jeopardy. What
12,
is?
12.
No, no.
Yeah, I saw a comment that you made earlier. I don't remember where it was, but something. Maybe it was on your channel. And you said something like, "It's the day after, and we're still here. I told you." And I was like, "What's he talking about?" I didn't know that something besides prayer and meditation on 12/12. I didn't know about any other events or anything like that were supposed to happen. Are you there, Paul?
The chat was off. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, the chat's gonna be off. You're gonna have at least a 4 or 5 second delay.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna describe what just happened.
Yeah, don't.
It's okay. Sure,
No, don't worry about that. Just share what you came on to share, and then we'll get to the next one that's been holding so patiently.
Okay.
And by the way, I've been praying for you. Just so you know.
Oh, it's 10-second delay or more.
Yeah, don't worry about the chat. Just share what you are. They're gonna hear it. It's just whenever you stop, whenever it's like dead air. If so, don't worry about the chat.
It's Michelle. I can't actually hear very well.
You can't hear me?
It just seems like so trippy.
Okay. Well, let me get to this person that's been holding for
Go
a
ahead.
while.
Let me listen.
Yeah, I love you, Paul. Have yourself a wonderful night. Okay, 503. How are you? You are
Hey,
live.
Michelle, it's Mike.
Hi, my Sky's 5D?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, hey, I was wondering how you came along on the Bit Chute. I finally got my account set up. It's My Skies 5D, all one word. But then I went to try to upload a video and it wouldn't upload for me.
Oh, get with me offline on
Do
that.
you-
I'll help you do that. I've got 3 on there already.
Oh, I see. I think I found your channel, but I couldn't see any videos.
Yeah, there's 3 on
You're-
there.
All right.
But you have to use the underscore. The in between.
okay.
So mine is awake underscore and then spelled out and underscore activate.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
For sure. Then I got it.
Did you get through
So I
reading
love what we're doing.
the policies and stuff there, or are a lot more? There's a lot more freedom there of expression.
Great. I just took your word for it because I started to get frustrated developing a new app or, working with it. And so I just, I was able to make the account. And as I say, I haven't been able to upload a video yet.
And it's like up in the corner. It says upload a video, and then you go through the steps and you pick your video, and then it downloads it, and then you put your description, just like YouTube. I mean, it's really similar, but a little easier.
Right. Here's the thing that, like, when I go to my photo gallery and I take up the video I want to upload, and I go to share that, there's no Bit Chute option that comes up. So I went to the Bit Chute app to do it, and there's a download button on the top with an arrow pointing down.
That's
I
it.
push it, the screen comes up, it says add your title, your description, and then push this to add video, and it just doesn't do a damn thing. It won't let me have any options. It just stays on that screen. So
Okay.
whatever reason.
Well, it should, when you click the little upload thing, then you go and select your video. You might be trying to do it backwards. You're selecting it first, but go there and hit upload your video, then grab your video and then hit OK, and then it'll upload it, and then put your thumbnail, whatever you want. You can add that, then that's right below it. So it's really simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just couldn't do it. It just didn't make it happen for me today. I'll take my time with it. Try it another time.
Yeah, and really,
So anyway, I just wanted to say
it's really easy.
I wanted to say I really love what you're doing on your channel and bringing us together like this. And myself, I think it's just ultra important to stay positive right now. There's so many truther channels or other channels out there that just pass around negative information of the newest weapon or the newest bucket of a bowl that they're throwing at us, and that just brings our vibration down. I can't support that narrative for that long. It
And
just
that's
drops my vibration.
That's the purpose of it. That's the exact purpose of it. And
And
so
then-
we have
and
to
then
keep
all
our
that anybody-
thoughts on high. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Right, and then all that anybody has an answer for any of this is, we need to wake other people up, right? I mean, when you take this type of narrative and you go out and try to wake people up with it, it doesn't do a lot but alienate, isolate, and ostracize you from people when you start talking about sun simulators or cloud dragons or a lot of these type of things. How do we get a unified message that's not going to drive people away? Because when you get into some of these deep subjects, you can't just approach somebody that has no idea of what your message is, and we throw something out there that's so wild that they roll their eyes and walk away,
Right. Yeah, you got to be grounded,
Every day I'm out here in the street, and I'm standing at the bus stop, or I'm standing in the grocery store line, or I'm doing something. I'm talking to people. I say, hey, have you paid attention? Notice what the sky's doing? And I whip a few of my videos out and show them gently, some of the more beautiful rainbow videos and all. And it doesn't startle anybody to where they're scared or in fear. I have a pretty smooth message with it, but there's just so many of these other topics that how you don't just, you know what I'm saying, kind of, right?
Yes, and anybody, that's what my motto is. Anybody that's trying to oppress you with fear or condemnation, walk away. Walk away, because
Exactly.
you
And
know the truth. You know the truth, that's not the truth.
Yep. That's how you discern it. If it's coming with a love and unity vibration, or if it's coming with a fear and victimization vibration, and there's a big difference right there to be able to discern it.
And I would
Hey, I'm
also
gonna have
add
to go. I can-
oppression to that. If they're trying to oppress
Yeah.
you and get you to create what they want. Well, thank you for calling in, and catch me offline, and I'll help you with that Bit Chute.
Cool. Thanks,
Uh,
Michelle. Good night.
Good night. Thank you. .406, you're unmuted.
I'm still on here, yep.
Oh.
I figured it out. I was listening to you. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I've been here the whole time. Just turned off my chat.
Okay. Did you figure out what you want to talk about now instead of worrying about the chat? Did you have something to share?
What am I going to talk about? Well, I've been saying the same stuff for 3-4 years in chats and comments, and people don't seem to pick up on it. But
So here's your chance.
what do you-
Speak your mind.
well, I got to start as a young kid here, and I got to do it really quick.
Okay.
Yeah, when I was like 5, I looked in the mirror and said to myself, "Who the heck am I?" And then my parents took me on vacations all over the USA East Coast, and they took me to Monticello, showed me all the stuff about the USA for some reason. I've had more birthdays in the USA than I've had at home in Canada. And then by the time I was about 12 years old, my brother came home and said, he had a stereo system. He's 4 years older than me. He's like, there's a new record called Paul Johnstone's Fire Rider. I was like, wow, I can't believe there's a person that has an album and stuff. And I don't know whether he had the album or not. He told me. That's 38 years late, 35 years later, 34, whatever. The song reappears, the group reappears if it's gone for 30 years. Under the same name as me. You still there?
Yeah, I'm listening to you. Is that the song you shared on your channel?
Yep. Mm-hmm. And if you look, it only has 790 views. And most of them were because it only had 6 something for years. The only views it got were mine.
Oh my gosh.
For the last 4 years or something. So we're going to keep going. Then
So that's your channel
I played
too?
rep hockey. And that's what everyone's thinking. Oops, sorry, still there?
Yeah, I'm here. And you're still here, so
I told you that part. I had the best suburban life and everything, and I the old man had the freaking BMWs and all this stuff, but they didn't hand out money to me. So I was like the best carpenter in school. I didn't apply myself. That's what they said. And so I, over the years, I haven't been employed by anyone since I was 25. I've had my own business since 25. So, like, I've done everything. Like, as far as, like, having a good life. And
it's good.
then I was like an atheist. About 12 years ago, I turned back to God. I was baptized. I was confirmed in grade 10 at the United Church of Canada. I asked the guy, what do you think about Darwin? Way. He had one question to ask the minister. And I asked him, what do you think about evolution and Darwin? And he's like, it's up to you to think whatever you want. And I'm like, okay, let's think about that one. I threw the question at him. He answered it wrong. This is in grade 10. So I become a master builder and everything. When people say, can you do this, build that, or I'll do my own brakes, I learned how to do just everything, right? And then turned to God about 7 years ago, again, because I was in a Fukushima community with a bunch of I'm going to call them Southern Bible thumpers, Confederates. I have more friends that are Confederates than all friends out there through YouTube and stuff. So I watched videos for the last 7 years, started with the rabbit holes were deep. I know all about the Illuminati and the elite and all this stuff. I stopped watching it because I just got so sick of watching the crap. I know every sin that Jesus went through, because not that I've been through every sin. I'm not a sinner, and I have no debt. I owe no one nothing. People owe me lots of money, but I know I owe no one anything. I've made friends the last few years from high school or school, which I told them, sorry for bullying you. They're like, oh, no, don't worry about it. Well, there, I got rid of my debt. I have no debt. I have no blog on YouTube.
Nice.
I have no debt. I haven't even gotten into the good stuff. I'm just telling you who I am. Always just went to work, never thinking about the money. I just, if you go to work, then you make the money, and then you got the, never felt like that. So we're at about 6 years ago. So about 4.5 years ago. You still there?
Yeah, I'm listening to you.
About I built this whole bathroom and skylight and everything in my house. I have a pool there. I wanted the bathroom at the other end of the house and all that stuff. So I didn't have to, because I have a garage up there, a shop, and I didn't want my buddies walking all the way through the house as work week's on. So I just built this back bathroom, back area there, and I put a skylight in there, and I put a window in there, and I made it like a bar area, TV and stuff, and like a small little area.
Nice.
And I'm looking at the paper. I always read the paper, right? I always look through the paper. I know the jet stream and the Fukushima stuff. I'm not even getting into the geography of and all the stuff, but chemtrails and stuff. So I'm reading the paper and I'm looking at, it's June 2016. I already went through a lot of crazy, the red moons and all that stuff before that. I knew all about that perpetual moon crap. And I'm freaking looking at the paper and it says the full moon is at 119 in the summer solstice, and the summer solstice moon or sun was at 119. So I had got this number in my head. And I go look in my skylight, and sure as shit, the sun is there at the top corner, right at 119.
Whoa.
And like, this is a few days before the solstice. I already, because it takes 3 months, the sun, to go through that, 3-4 months, to through my skylight, and then it takes, the moon in the wintertime, 3-4 months, same thing. Probably last the moon. And so then I went outside, and when the moon came over, I watched where that thing was on my front of my garage, and I could place that thing like, because I'm a builder, master builder. I know trigonometry, everything. I can build a box around me in 10 seconds. I know my numbers and everything. I watched that moon, and I'm like, wow, it lines up right there with the sun, or vice versa, right? In my house. And then I'm tripping, because it's right on time. We're talking noon, and we're talking midnight. I could see the path. Hey, this is what I've been doing for the last 4 years. It goes right through, and I said to myself, it took me a while. I said, if I move that, then I started thinking about the curve and where I am on this planet, and whether the USA is uphill or downhill to me, and vice versa, to the north. And I'm thinking, if I move that skylight 2 feet either which freaking way, I would never have seen that. Plus, I put a window above the door in my bathroom that it goes through. It's not just going through the skylight. It's going through the freaking window, too. And you can just, and the white throne's right there, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like,
So do you do this for
then I
a living? Because my uncle, you have that in common with my uncle. If you do, he did it as contracting. You know, he would do room additions or actually build full houses. He makes a good living.
I built custom houses, and I built.
So you do.
I put up doors, shelving. I've done everything.
It's awesome.
That's what I was saying. I can build your garage in like a week. And all that stuff.
That's nice. That's a good skill.
I didn't plan it. I just built the sky. This is 15 years ago. I put the skylight there, and the window in the bathroom, and everything. And then like 4 or 5 years ago, 4.5, is when I figured it out that it's right on time. And then it's still up, and the lunar eclipse was 100%, and I wasn't there when I went through there, but I know where that thing is. I'm measuring time. I got the only spot in the world to measure it. I'm saying it here. I figured out that flat Earth, if it is flat, or if it's spinning around, the sun and the moon are actually at 666 feet, metaphorically, 666.6666 feet above sea level elevation. That's where the sun and moon always collide. They're always metaphorically there. Unless it's like going in a new moon stage, that's a little different. I gotta figure that out. But it was 100% yesterday at my skylight. I wasn't there. I can calculate it out. I got charged. 100%. It was at 12:12 right there. It was actually 12:13 at my skylight, which is, it's totally in there. I told people, go to my house and take pictures. I'm not allowed there, supposedly. So,
Well, how
when I figured out the
amazing
whole
that would be to
sun
have a
and
bathroom
moon
with a
thing,
skylight.
then I knew God was real. God was real, and Jesus and all this is real. Then I started going into Alex Jones groups and all these other people's groups, and I could see through everyone's bullshit after I figured that out. I could see through all the bullshit. It was like
Discernment.
like blinders came right out my eyes after I saw that sun moon line up. I'm like, there's no way on God's given earth that thing can line up like that. And I've been growing on that. There's a lot of more information I have on that situation. I've learned over the last few years how to calculate a lot of stuff like that. It's just a lot of mind work, and I'm not really into it. I got to do it soon. Some people say it's going to get crazy in another month, less than a month.
I kind of see it going the other way. Seeing that more people are going to wake up to understanding and treat each other better, realizing that we have
that-
much more in common than ever will
It's
separate
going
us.
both ways. It's going both ways.
Yeah.
Some are more loving, and some are falling away. There's actually people falling away. If you're not with God, you get the demon in you and stuff. This is why I've always paid my debts on time. If someone has 100 debts with 100 different people, and you can forgive them that one debt of yours or whatever, the only way they're going to be saved is if the other 99 people forgive them too. So I have no grudges, and I forgive people pretty much. But if you need too much forgiveness, I just pray for y'all. I never prayed for myself, and I prayed before I turned an atheist, and I said I ain't praying for 8 years. I guess I didn't know how long, and then I started praying again, and I knew. I went to I knew how to pray the Lord's Prayer, and I went to the video of the Lord's Prayer, and it said trespasses right there in the video, like on the video.
I remember it as trespasses, not a financial debt.
I went back a few years ago and looked at it again, and it said debtors. And I'm like, it's in a video. It changed.
Wow.
Before that, I was like running around the house to my ex-wife. I'm like, get me a Bible, get me a Bible. I got to show you this in the Bible. I got Mandela. Mandela came after everything. I was like, what the crap is this Mandela shit? I had it all figured out.
Language.
And then this
Adults only.
This what happened. And then I went and told people that are in Fukushima communities and various communities like that, and they're like, and then that's when I was in Mandela community like 4 years ago. I told people that they're full of crap back in the day. There's no way. And then,
Do you see any now?
It's been.
Obviously, if you
Pardon
see,
me?
if you remember trespasses in the Bible and now it's debts, money's a man-made way of exchange. That's not a God thing. Trespasses is about forgiveness from your heart. Money is what people step on each other for. So, I mean, that's a huge difference.
Trespasses is what they did all their lives against you, and you're like, whatever.
Yeah,
Now
you
it's
forgive
called
them.
debt.
I know. Isn't
And
that
if you
crazy?
have debt, I'm not saying debt to the beast system and bullshit.
Okay.
That's the people. And you treated them shit. And all that.
Like trespasses. You're still seeing it as trespasses. I get you. Okay.
I say it as trespasses when I say it every night, or try to say it every night.
Okay. That's how I remember it.
Bread. Our daily bread is your daily dose of Jesus Christ. It's not food. Our daily bread is the body of Christ.
And even in that statement, it shows the oneness that we all are. If we're all in one body, then we all have our divine purpose in that body. The toe doesn't need to do what the pinky does, but each are important to the whole of the body. All right, it's already been an hour. Oh my gosh, time flies. So I'm going to take the phone number down because Paul is my last caller. We're back to that screen. And Paul, I want to thank you for calling. And do you have anything that you want to say before we hang up?
Have the armor of God. That's all I can say. Don't trespass and pay your debts. It's not about money. This is about
Forgiveness
soul.
and love. Yep. You're right. Well, thank
I don't
you.
have a grudge. I don't have any grudges That's the way I don't do the forgiveness thing. I thought about it a lot, and I just have no grudges. I'll what if somebody comes to me and says, "I'm sorry I did this or did that or whatever," you know what I would say to them? Whatever. I have no grudge. It's not, you know what I mean?
You've already forgiven them and
I
moved
already
on.
forgive
That's a
them.
beautiful
It's
heart
like
right there.
Yeah.
Yep, I understand you completely. Because you don't give it another thought. It's already in the sea of forgetfulness. You don't hold it against anybody. And that takes a really
No, I don't
strong
hold it
heart.
I'll think about everything. I'll think about it all 10 different ways. A lot of people know me over the years, and they're like, "Paul, you got this 10 different ways." They hate that. I got it from every direction. Some
Every
people call me like
perspective.
the back door man, and it's not a sick thing. It's because I got the key for the back door to go into your house and things like that. And I'm always like the thief in the night. Like I come out of nowhere and just blow people's freaking minds all the time. It's not my fault. I didn't do this to me. This is just how I am.
Well, you need to
Try
call
be a good
in
person.
more
I never
often.
screwed anyone over.
Because you obviously have a wealth of wisdom and information to share. Thank you so much for calling, and bless you always, and I appreciate
Well,
you calling.
I'm gonna go turn off the phone, and I'm gonna look at the chat before I leave, because I turned that right off.
Okay.
I'll call again.
Okay.
I got more info.
All right, cool. My number stays the same, so
Bye, Michelle.
thank
Take
you
care,
for
everybody.
calling
Bye.
in. I appreciate it. Bye-bye.
I'll see you down on the chat in a minute.
Okay. Okay. I can't believe we've been going 61 minutes already. Let me give this channel a shout out. Let me see if it'll show me participants. The only participants is everybody. Well, show 16 people. Everybody must just be quiet and listening. So let me scroll up as far as I can go. John Binney, my Sky's 5D. Belinda giggles. I love her laugh so much. Paul. We have a lot of quiet ones, huh? Oh, Jody. Studio B. If I've missed you, say something so that way I make sure that I shout you out. Bit of Venom. And Quartz Quantum. I said it right this time. I didn't get your name inverted. I always want to call him Quantum Quartz. And I don't mean to. I really don't. I love you guys so much. And I appreciate you guys coming to these spontaneous late night lives. And if you're interested in checking out and maybe getting ahead of me on the curve on these shares, I did put it's in the description box. Also, the Bit Chute referral link is in the description box. It's always good to have a backup plan. I'm not leaving YouTube, but I am going to be posting over there things that are a little bit, I don't know, YouTube may have an issue or whatever with they don't on Bit Chute, so we can share more openly over there. And I'll have them on Patreon and Bit Chute, so but not necessarily on YouTube. But I am still active on YouTube. So with that, I hope you guys go over there and check it out. It's free to register. It's free to get signed on, whether you're a viewer or a content creator. Content creators especially should have some kind of a backup plan. Now, if the live streaming goes down on YouTube, then DLive would be the backup on that. I love you guys so much. Please like, share, and subscribe. I haven't said that in forever. And if you haven't used that promo code, it's still good. It's a one-time use per person. So if you're interested, you can still use it. Okay. I love you guys. Be blessed in everything you do. Love people unconditionally. Treat each other as the equals that we are. Realize the frequencies that we send out affect all of those around us. And we always want the highest good for everybody. So, and that is what I want for you. And others around you want the same thing for you. It's where our hearts are at. Okay. I'll talk to you soon.